Hello, my name is Haleemah and I am a PhD student at the Department of English and Related Literature at the University of York. And today I'm reading an excerpt from my short story, A Very Private Confession, published in this short story anthology. I made all sorts of excuses to listen to Haleemah and Ryan's conversations. At times, I had told Gabrielle that I needed to shower or prepare for tomorrow's edition or turn the stove off. Once, walking down to the basement, I heard Ryan and Haleemah joking about sports commentators. I must have had missed the context of the conversation. I didn't see what was so funny about sports commentators. It made me angry when they made references and jokes and told stories in bits and pieces that never came together because they would break out in laughter. They never bothered to explain what any of it was about, as if I was never there. Some days I would spend hours in the basement room listening to Haleemah and Ryan talk about their plans for their first child. Later that year, in September, Haleemah told Ryan that he was going to be a daddy. I heard him cry that night. I couldn't help but cry a little too. I wondered what they would name their baby. By the time I came to bed that night, Gabrielle had already fallen asleep. After a year or so had passed since we met, Gabrielle and I were no longer so unaccustomed to our love, and the fervor of our romance gradually disappeared. For weeks, Gabrielle and I didn't touch or kiss. After a while, I struggled to even recall the last time that I had seen Gabrielle naked. And after we both turned 29, I worked out that it had been 7 months since we last made love. I thought that the reason might be because he was struggling to find inspiration for his paintings. Sometimes he sat in his studio for hours doing nothing. When I tried to offer help, he said he didn't want to talk about it because he didn't want to become self-conscious about not being able to find ideas. He said that he created these little crises as a kind of a secret strategy to push himself. I told him that he shouldn't wait around for an idea to occur to him. Gabrielle didn't paint for weeks. I was worried about him, so I called Serena, his friend and painting colleague. She said that he was working on something major and asked, "Did he not tell you?" And I answered no. She asked if Gabrielle had stopped surprising me, or if we had lost interest in one another, to which I answered, I don't know. At first it was just the scent, and then it was other things. I didn't want to wallow in thoughts about what went on between Gabrielle and Serena, so I was glad when Gabrielle came home and checked on me the following week. For a moment I considered confronting him, but I thought to myself, no, he didn't do anything to be ashamed of, did he? So we spoke, first about the weather. Then Gabrielle said he was doing just fine, had found inspiration for his painting, was taking Spanish classes at the language center. For a while, I covered our bedroom walls with inspirational posters. I wrote a list of all his half-finished pieces and rough sketches. We watched interviews of his favorite painters in order to look out for anything to motivate him to paint. I hated having to pretend that it was unfortunate that Gabrielle struggled to find inspiration for his paintings. I wanted to let him know that things weren't going well in my acting career, that things weren't going well in our life. What he truly didn't know was how lucky he was. In fact, there was a part of me that believed that Gabrielle knew exactly how lucky he was, but that he also knew, as an artist, there were all these strings he could pull to induce sympathy, love, and compassion, to buy excuses, to make mistakes, to fail, to explain himself, and that he intended to pull those strings until they broke. Thank you.